This continues the story of Shanna, the cleaning person who had been taking care of the Bradleys' home for many years. And on the day that she came in the beginning of the story, she found it as a mess. And that's never a way that the Bradleys would leave a place, even if they were going out for a few hours. So she was curious and then instantly furious when she found out that the two people who had arrived at the door were not the Bradleys and they were not friendly. She shouted out, really, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And they tipped their hand right away by saying, "Well, this is our home. What are you doing here? You are an intruder." So Shanna's going, okay, this is how they're going to be. I know better, but they don't know that I know better because they don't know what I do here. So they had a moment or two on both sides of this conflict to think about their next step. Shanna concluded that whatever they were going to do next could actually be harmful to her, because they were looking like they're going to come through the door now together. And she wasn't a very large person at all. They could overpower her. She had cleaned that house so many times that she knew exactly where the security alarm was. And so she thought, if I could just get a little closer to where the security alarm is, then I can hit it. And when they see that that's being done, they might run. So she said, well, let's talk a little bit more here because I think there's a lot of confusion. This is the Bradleys' home, and I work for them. Look over there. There is the picture of the Bradleys. And as they turned and looked at the picture on the wall, she quickly came up to the alarm and hit the red button at the bottom, which was directly to the security system and to the police. They saw her do that, and they almost gave her a slap. But then they looked at each other and said, "Let's get out of here." So they turned and they ran down the sidewalk. Within a few moments, really, it seemed, at least to Shanna, there were two policemen that arrived at the door, and she explained what had happened and showed them the mess around the house. And they said, "This is a couple who have done this in this neighborhood for the last several weeks. They see who's away, they break into the house, they use the house to live in small ways until they're caught or until they can get away without being caught. You caught them. Congratulations on your quick thinking. But you've also helped us because you've identified more about who they are. You can describe them, and you're the first person who's done that. So please come with us. Let's lock the house, and we'll go down to the police station, and we'll go through the mug books, and we'll get a complete description and an identification, and you will have saved a lot of people's well-being in this neighborhood by your action and your willingness to help us prosecute." That's what Shanna did. And when the Bradleys came several days later, they called her. They had heard from the police what had happened. They said, "Shanna, while we have so many reasons to thank you, could you possibly just come back and clean up this mess?" And Shanna said, "Certainly." And back to being their cleaning person again. And that's how it works in practice. Sometimes you have a heroic role to play at the least expected moment. Shanna's doing well now.
A while ago, I wrote a book with Stephen Cavallari called Inside Knowledge. In 2025, we still think it resonates. So we've realized a second edition, this time with a new prologue and released exclusively as an ebook. Inside Knowledge follows Dana Gilbert and her time working at the Grand Bay Company and uses her story to highlight the various real-life skills, methods, and characteristics of practitioners at the front lines of organizational life. As conditions change, so must Dana. As you read, you may find you've changed alongside her. Escape into a good story and learn to improve at the same time. Get your copy today, only at mylibrary.world/inside knowledge. Now I'll let you in on a little secret. You can actually get this book at a discount for a limited time. Visit anactionresearch.info and find a special coupon code that you can use at checkout for this ebook. Thanks for listening and considering Inside Knowledge as your next read.